Hello, how are you? All ready? Very good, very good.
Welcome clap, go!
Thank you. Okay.
Hi Arzan, welcome
Hi,
to
hi, hi,
Flow
hi, hi.
Chennai. Good to
Hi.
see you here.
Good to see you too.
So yeah.
So you let me know when to start, right?
Just 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Girls,
sure.
while we
I'm
are all
ready.
here, please feel
Yep.
free to meet Arzan. And Arzan, we usually use these 5 minutes to just interact with the members.
Sure.
So if
Sure.
there's anything that you would like to ask or something you would like to tell us before you start, this is the perfect time.
Okay. So basically, I'm into metal sculptures, basically large metal sculptures. And ever since the lockdown, I've not been able to go to the studio. So I've been doing my black and white doodling since a long time. But this is the first time I said, let me sort of, try and teach it online. It was a new experience for me to teach in front of a screen and not have actual people in front, So it took some time to just generate that sort of thing to be able to do that. And I started with live Insta classes. It got very popular. And then I started doing formed courses where I do my six session course and stuff like that. And I realized that whatever I had been doing in all these years, all these black and whites and everything, if I show you a finished work, which I will during the course of time, it looks extremely complicated and extremely complex because it's got so many things all put in one drawing. So what I decided was that if I want to teach someone and to make it fun for someone, and especially to someone who says I don't know about art at all. Okay, so that's my main target audience. I love teaching people who say I can't even draw a straight line, because that's wonderful. And in the end, by the end of the session, they come up with such wonderful work. And this is, I mean, tried and tested. I've seen this happen. There's not a single student, literally not a single one, who goes back saying I have not been able to do something and all that. So I removed these aspects from my doodles and I made them into different techniques. So one of the techniques I'm going to show you all today. So one is good enough, maybe two, but believe me, one is good enough. You can actually experiment with one, and if you have the ability, with that one technique, you can fill up 25 works in an art gallery, literally, with the kind of combinations that you can do from that.
I'll take your word for it, because I'm definitely one of. I said I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, sure. But it's very good. It's good fun, and like I keep saying, it is actually the physical activity of putting the pen on the paper and drawing something. Okay, that is very physical. Like yoga, you go into a posture, it's very physical. But what you attain from it, what you achieve from it, why? Because you go in depth into your drawing, and the more you do, the drawing starts absorbing you. The artwork starts absorbing you, and you actually become one with it. I mean, I have done my black and white pen and inks for hours together and literally forgotten everything around. There was one point of time when I was so addicted to it, I used to take the black and white drawings to my studio also, and coming from the floor, which the studio floor is always very messy because it's got welding machines and grinders and stuff like that. And to sit in a cabin and do these small, delicate doodles, which I call them, and you can call them Zentangles if you want, just these pen and ink drawings, to me, it changed my scale of working from something large and something that required physical force. I changed it to doing something which was so technically fine and refined, and I could go with a small little pen and do details and all that. So it took me into another zone completely, and I started enjoying it so much. And I'm glad that this lockdown gave me the opportunity to teach so many people. So ever since the lockdown, just to give you an idea, maybe about 500, 600 students, about approximately.
Wow.
So it's been, yeah. So it's been good. It's been a fun sort of a thing for me to spread it out and get reactions. And of course, then now with social media, people write back on Instagram saying this is what I've done, and it's good. It just by word of mouth, it just spread, which is a good thing,
Okay.
But you all will have a good time. You all will enjoy for sure. That I can guarantee you.
No, we're really looking forward to it because it's just been about handling work or our
Yes.
own businesses, and it's not been a very upbeat scenario here.
Correct,
So,
correct. So I
and
don't know if I told you, but I did one for Vicky Kanpur.
yes,
Okay. And superb response, phenomenal response I got. In fact, I think 3 of them have joined my regular classes also. And they are in my regular classes which are going on. I've got 2 batches going on, one in the evening, one in the morning, alternate days, and 2 different curriculums, one slightly easy, one slightly more tough. And the thing is, even the tough ones, I mean, the way it's just a matter of how you explain it to the student. And it's like puzzle solving. Some of this is like puzzle solving. What I'm doing today is not. What I'm doing today is you will get absorbed into the paper. Believe me, it's so much fun, and everyone loves it. And that's why I selected this one technique for today, because people have a ball of a time doing that, And I've had tremendously good results from this one technique also, So it's super fun.
great, lovely. So, welcome everybody to a fun workshop from Flow Chennai, very different from what we've been doing so far. And Arzan, welcome once again. I'm sure we're going to have an afternoon of fun.
Thank you.
Apart from our members, I'd also like to welcome 2 groups that I took the liberty of inviting. These are both shelters for children that are run by people who I know. So there's Arun Rainbow Home and there's Child Home. These are all children who've probably not stepped out of their homes, and these are shelters because they're managed by founders. And they haven't stepped out of the premises of their homes for the last 4.5 months. They haven't had any school, they've had no visitors, which is something they look forward to. So this is another session where Arzan and all of us to some extent are volunteers, and எல்லா பசங்களுக்கு நீங்க எல்லாரும் பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட் இருப்பீங்க சரியா? பேப்பர் பென் இருக்கா? பேப்பர் பென்சில் இருக்கா எல்லாருக்கு? ரெயின்போ ஹோம், சைல்ட் ஹோம், சூப்பர். எல்லாரும் டிரா பண்ணணும். ஓகே, சார் சொல்வாங்க, நம்ம எல்லாரும் டிரா பண்ணணும். Alright? Great. Radhika, I'd like to hand over to you now, just to welcome and start the proceedings, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this fun session. I'm glad to introduce our guest for today, Mr. Arzan Khambata. A professional, shelter by choice. Can be found all over the country. He works in metal and carved woods with pieces ranging from 6 having had a solo show. His other passions include photography, filmmaking, doodling, cycling, yoga, and stand-up. You guys have heard, so we all are so excited for today's session on doodling, and it is a great stress buster, and I think we need this in these uncertain times. So ladies, hope you have your pencils and ready, and let's doodle away. Over to you, Arzan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So the children will, there's not much instruction. The children will understand, right? If I show them, you can ask them.
Will. Yeah.
So super. I'm glad. And if you need to, you can translate a little. It's very easy. There's nothing much. Okay.
Sure.
In fact, I can conduct the whole thing without talking. So this is one more thing I keep telling my students is that when I teach you something here, of course, I'm constantly narrating and you're going along according to that. But the beauty of this is actually to sit later on without any noise, within the comfort of your own house, put a little soft music maybe, and then go doodling away, So let's start. Shall we do that? I'll just change the view to my camera view to the paper, and we'll begin. Give me a moment. Okay, so I'll just adjust this. The paper's clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let's start. So everyone's got a plain ball pen, gel pen, whatever. Okay. So later on, if you're taking this up seriously, then sometimes what we do is we use different thicknesses of pens. But today, forget about it. But if you're continuing, then, and if you're experimenting with doodling ever, definitely get a few pens which have different thicknesses. Some of the simplest ones to buy in the stationery shops are called micron pens. They look like this. I'm just giving you an idea so that when you progress further and if you feel like experimenting further, they are called micron pens, and they come in different thicknesses of 0.3, 0.5 and all that. And when you use these different thicknesses, it gives more depth to your work. It gives more meaning to your work. And I've been used to these pens right from my architecture days because I never grew up in the computer age when AutoCAD and all that was there. We still were drafting and doing stuff like that. And hence I still do all my sketches with the pencil and everything, you know. I'm still very far away from the computer. Thank God for learning a little bit of the Zoom thing. I was able to sort of spread what I knew, but otherwise I'm very, very far away from the computer. Okay. Okay. So I got muted in the meantime. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm audible. It's okay. So I'm using a ball pen for today. So relax. Just use whichever pen you've got. Black, blue, anything is all right. Okay. And what we'll do is we're doing spirals today. Okay. We're doing spirals. And on the first sheet, when I name out a technique and when I show you how we're doing the spirals, start doing it. Don't exactly copy me. Do your own spiral with a little variation if you want. Otherwise, if you find it difficult, just go ahead and do it. Now, spirals are of two kinds. Now, the second half is the fun part. The first part is the nice and calming part. Okay. So now let's start with, and start anywhere on the paper. You can select whether the center, side, wherever. Why I'm telling you this is very important, because this is our warm-up. But as we are doing our warm-up, as we're doing the techniques, we are also composing them one with the other so that it forms an artwork anyway. You understand? It's not doing one technique here, one technique here, one technique here. We will do it all together so that even this becomes an artwork of sorts, an abstract artwork of sorts. Okay, so let's start. So first thing you do is try getting a spiral which is as round as you can and as even as you can. Equidistant from each other. Try this. Nicely going round. You can start out. You can start out. See how large you can go. Try going to about approximately 2 inches dia, which is quite large, believe me. Go as close to the inner line as possible. Your inner line is your guiding line. Just to give you an idea, I have done spirals like this on a chart paper of 2 feet by 3 feet without lifting up the pen and going around in one stroke. By the end of it, you literally get hypnotized. What you will realize is, as you go larger, your line starts wavering. Even mine, don't worry. And there's a reason for that. Because as you go larger, your wrist tends to lift up, or you have to lift up to maneuver the pen around the paper. You're just warming up now. You're just warming up your hand now. Okay. You can stop if it comes to around this size. There's no compulsion. Next, what I want you to do is just to realize what a difference it makes. Same line, continue into an out to in spiral. First you went in to out. Now do an out to in. It is uncanny, but you realize, and I think you will, that when you do a spiral outside in, your lines and everything is more confident because mentally you know that where it's going to stop. Because once you reach inside, you stop. In an inside out, that uncertainty makes you waver your line slightly and you keep on searching for what is happening. You keep on searching for a route. Just for practice, do one more, but this time overlap it over the other two, existing two. Whether you do it inside out or outside in is your choice. Overlap it. We are composing an abstract as we are going along. After you've done these three, you can take a break. I'm going to show you something different. You can actually fill up a full paper with these spirals, believe me. and you will have a pre-composed artwork sort of thing, you know. Okay, now look here. Now what we're going to do, this is where it starts getting more interesting. These are the simplest spirals that we've done. Now to make it more interesting, what we can do is draw the spiral, but start pulling it down. So you see that? I'm just starting anywhere. You can start anywhere. I am pulling it down. See that? Start pulling the spiral down. Same diameter. Do a couple of strands like this. Do a couple of vertical ones like this. You can also go horizontal with the same technique, different diameter. Okay. Then what you can do is, I'm going at an all right speed. No, I'm not going too fast, right?
You're okay. Yeah.
Okay, no? Yeah. So now in the next one, don't do it where I'm doing it from. Do it from anywhere. Do a spiral which starts with a smaller diameter, but slowly increases. Okay. Slowly increase the diameter. Do about 1 or 2 of these. Slow, nice and slow. So with each circle, with each dia, you increase the dia a little. You increase the diameter of the circle a little. Like a funnel. Do one which is opposite now. Start from a large and go to a narrow. Anywhere. Compose it anywhere you want. I will do it here. Start from a large and go to a narrow, to a pinpoint. Take a few moments to fill up some gaps which you might have left with smaller spirals. Just as a composition, ad hoc, very ad hoc, add a few spirals here and there to make the composition richer. See that you're already getting a form. So we pulled the equal diameter ones. We pulled this. Now, coming to the interesting part, let's go vertical first. It's always easy vertical. From anywhere, start with a spiral, but with a smaller diameter, going larger, and now play around with the diameter. Again, go smaller if you wish. Again, go bigger in no particular order. I can go this big. Go narrower, play around with the whole diameter. Play around. Looks like a top, like a wooden top. Do a couple of these in different directions. So you get the flow of the hand in different directions. I'm going to do one here. The intensity of the spirals, the closeness to each other, will determine how dark your composition is or how light your composition is. So you can actually use the closeness of the spirals and the distance between them to your advantage sometimes. I'll show you exactly what I mean. If you finish, then just keep adding small spirals inside, small squiggles. Okay. Now, coming to one of the last sections of this, what you need to do is start from anywhere. This one that we did, the varying diameters, correct? I'm talking about the varying diameters. What we can do is now vary the diameter, but also change the direction in whichever way you want. Like I'm starting from here. Sorry, my hand is coming in the middle. I started from here, and I'm going to change it this way. So you can see, I'm going to change the complete alignment of the spiral. I'm going in multiple directions now. I'm going larger, I'm going smaller, but I'm going all over the paper. I'm not going down. See that? I'm changing the whole course of the spiral and taking it on a route. This, if you can master this, it gives you such wonderful textures. I'm doing a few here if you want to see. So I do large spirals, go small again. I'm going to alter the complete course and go around. I'm going this large. See that? It's gone out of the paper. Yeah, out of the camera. Yeah, going this large. Yeah. So basically, literally with only this technique, you can do artworks like this. This is one of my most favorite things to do when I'm sitting in a hotel on the stationery. I keep on doing these spirals, and then I get all the stationery home, the envelopes and everything. I just keep on scribbling this stuff. Empty spaces that you've got, fill up a little, fill up a little. So you'll know how rich a composition can get just by using this one technique. You can title your artwork also, depending on what it looks like. I also sometimes, if I see an edge this way, I can also do a spiral which circumnavigates that circle like this. See that? Like a halo. Sky's the limit. You know, so this is just like a couple of things which I've shown you, but you can just keep going on and on and on. And the fun is when you have negative spaces in the center and you have to fill them so that the spiral goes along those lines and fills it up. See that? I mean, by itself, it's a composition, literally. It absolutely is a composition by itself. Now, coming to, just to give you an idea of the closeness and the distance of the spiral, you can see this part of the composition is darker than this. Correct? This part is darker than this. That's because we'll do one purposely. We'll do two similar elements, but with different spacings, just to give you an idea. So I'm starting one, which is very close. I'm just going to do a spindle-like thing, but I'm going to do it very, very close. And I'm going to zero it out this way. And I'm doing the other spindle right next to it. Same shape, same size, but you see that? I've left the spiral little open. That's why it shows, isn't this darker than this? So that's what it looks like. Yeah, I'll go still lighter, just to show you how much control you can have on the spiral so that in your final composition, you can get shades like this. See that? Light, slightly darker, darkest. You still want to go dark? I'll go one step darker than this. And use that shade very intelligently in your works so that you can actually do a gradation in a monochrome color without actually coloring it. See that? 4 shades here. You can also, if you find that a spiral looks incomplete, if I have these 2 large openings here, I can go with a diagonal spiral on the spiral also. See that? Exactly here. I can go in a spiral that is counterproductive to the one that is already drawn, and I can go this way. Like I said, when you sit to do this with a fresh paper after this, whenever, after dinner or whenever you sit, just completely sort of sit with a blank mind and start doing these spirals, and you see where it takes you. It will completely take you into another zone. You don't need to follow any compositions. Just sort of move from one to the other and compose it as you're going along. Now, let's come to the fun part of this. Of course, I'm not saying this is not fun, but let's have more fun than this. Okay. So, I mean, this is something that the children will like, I guarantee you. So you've got an idea. Just let's just brush over this. We did the round single spirals. We did inside out and outside in. We did the pulled spirals like this. We did the pulled spirals like this. Then we did different diameters from big to small, from small to big. We superimposed some spirals. We did some varying diameter spirals like this and different shadings, and the one where the varying diameter twists and turns. Okay, now keep this in mind and now go over to another paper. Now comes the fun part. Okay, now, okay, let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Stick to this paper. Sorry, don't change the paper. Now, within this composition itself, now what you're going to do is you're going to increase the speed at which you're doing the spirals. Now, this is where it gets fun. This is what I want you to do. Select any empty space on your paper. If it's too crowded, please take another paper by all means. But since you're composing it, I'm doing a spiral inside out. But now, this is the speed what I want you to do at. So, Rinku, if you can tell the children that what we've done. Okay, now some samples from this we're going to take and we're doing fast spirals. Okay, now that is a lot of fun because it goes at this speed. See that? This is what I want them to do. So do a couple of spirals at this speed. See how the whole texture changes from this to this. You get shades and shades within the spiral. Again, the same one, what we pulled, we are going to pull but fast. See that? We are going to pull this way. See how it gives you almost a 3D effect like a hollow pipe. I'm going to go here and narrow the diameter. Okay, so let's start doing that. Do these spirals. Tell them also if they the fast. This is what I want. I want the speed to come out now. Okay, anywhere on the painting, even if they want to overlap, perfectly all right. Let them do that, and all of you can too. Okay.
Child home, rainbow home, panringla.
See the speed? I'm purposely showing them the speed. Yeah. This is what I want.
Kunjo kai rumba shigrom pannu. Okay, paapom. Sir, eppadi pandrangalle rumba shigrom pannu. All right. Rainbow home.
Same shape.
Cherry.
Same
super.
shape but fast.
Do it. Same. Ade spiral, ade shape le pannu. Kunjo shigrom pannu. Kai shigrom move pannu. All right. Panikku.
See how I'm changing the direction? I'm just starting from one point. I'm going to do this nice and long just to show you that you can do it even without lifting your pen. I have done complete compositions like this without lifting the pen from the paper. Do you see that? Just flows from one to the other. And you, of course, you compose as you go along. Yeah? Do a few quick ones. If anyone has questions, of course, you can please interrupt and ask me anytime, not a problem at all. So someone asked me in yesterday's class that you keep talking about compositions and how one circle should be next to the other and what would look better. How does that come about? Composition is how your piece looks at the first glance as to what is where and how the overall thing looks, not the detailing. So that comes only with practice and with a lot of observation of other art around the world. So you get an idea of what is good and what is bad. You have to form your own judgments on composition. It's very difficult to teach. But one set rule of a composition, if you know about it, is the Fibonacci sequence, where they take a shell and they open it out. And even the Mona Lisa is supposed to have been adhered to that composition. And that's why they say it is so eye-catching. You have to agree that when you look at artwork, when you look at a certain sign, forget an artwork, even an ad, a graphic, some hold your attention longer and faster than the others. That is because they're so well composed that immediately you get an idea as to what is to be done. You know, not what is to be done. The artist had an idea of what is to be done to capture your attention in a flash, literally in a flash. So all of you all have got this fast scribbling, fast spiraling. Okay. Now, the best part about this is that you create an abstract, but this technique can be used to do figurative work without drawing an outline or anything. And that is what I'm going to make you do now. Okay. So now if you've had enough of playing around and going around in circles, and before you get vertigo, let me take you away from this page and take a new page. And I want to ask Rinku. Okay, Rinku, tell me what, if I were to do a figurative piece, what subject would you want me to do? I asked children and they told me warrior. Then someone said a Ganesha, and someone said the thinker, like Rodin aesthetic. So give me any subject, and then let's do that so everyone can follow in the same line.
Do food.
Sorry?
Food.
Sorry,
Somebody said food.
No, food I can't do. This looks like jalebi anyway.
Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
Let's do a figure. Okay, let's do the Eiffel Tower with a figure. Okay, let's do a human figure also because that is interesting. Okay.
Okay,
So,
somebody else over here said unicorn. Someone said trees.
unicorn is very interesting. Do you all want to do
unicorn would be. Let's try.
Sure.
Let's
Let's
try.
go unicorn. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take a new paper and I think you all can too. Now I'm going to do it step by step. Proportion can go a little haywire because now you're doing a figurative work and your proportion is important. Okay. So what I'm going to do just for your sake, let's use a pencil today to outline the unicorn at least slightly so that we know how to take care of it. Okay. So now you can follow me step by step because this gets slightly trickier, but don't forget, what you have done here is a piece of art by itself. And if we have time, Rinku will quickly see everyone else's work. If we just put it up and we'll see it, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then others can also have a look at it. And you can also post it for comments and all that, not a problem. And so, okay, so let's remember that this is the technique and let's do a figurative work first. And I love who suggested unicorn. Excellent suggestion. Okay, so now I'm going to draw an outline of the unicorn. Like I said, normally I would not, but just follow me. Just follow me. See that? I'm going to draw in a balloon kind of a thing. You see that? Just follow me if you want. I'm going to draw today in complete balloons. Got it? One this way, one this way. Remember, and Riku, you can tell the children that the pencil lines should be so light that once they do the pen work like this, the pencil lines should be able to get erased. So we only see the pen lines. Okay.
Child home, rainbow home, pencil, rumba, light vikino paper le. Seriya? Dark vikavenda. Aprama dark panla. Pen use.
And let everyone follow balloon by balloon, literally by as far as possible, maintaining the proportion that I have maintained. Okay. Very simple. I'm breaking it down into balloons. Obviously, you can make out it's a unicorn. It's a horse right now. The unicorn will happen only when we put the horn. Till then, it's a horse. Oops. Let him majestically lift up one leg. Now, we come to the rump, the hind, which is almost like a pure circle. Another oval. I'm going slow. I'm going step by step. Absolutely take it at your own pace. Okay. And one more oval here. And of course, the hind legs are almost together, so you won't see them So you'll see them very slightly apart. And of course, one of the most majestic parts of the horse is the tail, which the tail of the horse reminds me of a question mark. Okay. So always, so if you see, it looks like a question mark. And we have the unicorn here. Of course, there will be the horn, which will come later. We can do 2 small triangles for the ears. And one extremely important part, and one of my most favorite parts of the horse to sculpt. If you don't know, I do a lot of horse sculptures, lots of horse sculptures. Okay, in iron, copper, metal, wood, and all that. One of my most favorite parts is the mandible, the jaw. So that's what gives the horse head the strength. Let me quickly show you some sculptures of horses that I've done. I think that will help you. So I'm quickly getting my iPad across while you draw this, and I'm going to show you a few horse sculptures that I've done. You can keep drawing in the meantime. So give me a moment. Okay, there you go. Just to give you an idea of how many horse sculptures I've done. These are literally 1/10 of them. Okay, so this is in copper. This is what I meant. You see that? This is what I sculpt. This is all in iron and copper and bronze. This is wood. You see that? This is wood. Stainless steel. Again, bronze, copper. Let's see one of my. Oh, this is wood. This is the wooden horse, the Lady Godiva. Then, okay, here she goes. This is a nice little female horse I did. So I gave it a little elegant face and with flowing hair. And there's also a mom and son horse that I've done. I hope I have the photograph here. No, I don't. But just to give you an idea. Oh, this one is the last horse I did on a wall out of wood and iron. So if you see all the rivets and how the wood is cut and all that, a lot of lines and formations and stuff like that. Okay, chalo, let's go back to our unicorn before he runs away. And let's do that. Chalo. Okay, so everyone's got this? Just give me a thumbs up so we can proceed. Okay, everyone's got this, right? Okay, so now remember, same technique, exactly same technique. We're not going to color the unicorn in any other way except by using spirals. And we're going to use these spirals very intelligently so that you get a 3D appearance on the unicorn. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to do it bit by bit. Since this is your first time, you can follow me. I will stop when you give me, when Ninku gives me a thumbs up, I'll move ahead and then we'll keep going ahead that way. Okay, let's start first with the face. Now, we are with our lines. If you see this, notice this one. You see how 3D it looks already? When you do double lines like that, when you do a spiral, you get a 3D kind of an imagery, which we are going to take advantage of. I'm going to start right from here, and I'm going to go this way. See that? I'm going to go this way, right till the top and stop. That's it. Then the mandible, as I was talking about, the jaw. I'm going to do another spiral which intersects it. So you see the musculature of the mandible this way. Now, the neck coming down. The neck coming down, I'm going to start from here and I'm going to alter the direction of the spiral coming down this way. See that? I'm making the spiral slightly oval as I'm going down till here. Okay. Next will be, let's accentuate the ears a bit. 2 small triangular cones going up for the ear. I'm going to make the head a little stronger because I find the proportion off, but it's okay. You need not do that. Don't get confused right now. Just keep it. Okay. Now let's go into a simple part, the legs. Vertical spirals going down. Mind when you're doing this to incorporate the thickness of the legs properly. Of course, there's a joint, and then you have the foreleg. You have the foreleg becoming narrow as it goes down. If it was a human hand, like the wrist, like how we narrow in the wrist, we narrow over here. Okay. Similarly, the other leg, all going this way. We stop at the knee joint, and then we take the foreleg this way. Okay, now the hooves. The hooves we will only do this way to accentuate the, okay, the hooves. Slightly wider ovals. And now let's go into the body. The body will not start from here. We will merge it with the neck and the legs, because obviously the neck and the legs are a part of the body of the same horse. So let's merge it this way. Vertical spiral showing the roundness of the horse. You see that? You're actually getting like a skeleton of the horse. And going, I keep calling it the horse because it still is a horse. We will actually do the unicorn horn last, absolutely last. I'm just altering my proportion a bit. You don't worry about that. I'm just, okay. I'm just erasing a few lines. You ignore this because I was seeing it through the camera, so I went little off. I'm just doing a little bit of proportioning. You keep your bubbles the way they were. Don't alter them at all. Huh? Okay, so you got the body. Now we go into the hind leg, the rump. Nice and wide this way. Okay. The hind leg of the horse starts from a very wide angle. It is not like a narrow like this. So what we'll do, we'll start this way like a funnel, like a wide funnel going down up to the joint. The back joint is not called the knee, so I'm not calling the knee, up to the joint back here. Similarly, you can do the hind leg. If the children find it too difficult to do the hind leg, let them only do one. Let them only do one. So it just looks simple. Now we go into the lower leg, diminishing the dia as we go down. And of course the hoof. I'm doing the hoof directly because you already did it in the front leg. Huh? Once we do this, okay, we still have the tail, sorry. It's a lovely, majestic, nice, bushy tail, which we are going to do. You remember the spiral that we took in all various directions? This almost looks like a tail. We hadn't even decided we are going to do the horse then. So what we'll do is, do you realize the three-dimensionality of the horse? See how three-dimensional it looks. Actually, you feel as if there's a skin around the roundness and all that, everything. So here, we go into the tail. We're going to go this way. We're going to alter the direction of the spiral. See that? Completely twist and turn. And then go down into a point. Now, we've still not finished the body. I still want you to accentuate some parts further. So if you see, I'm going to take the camera closer just to give you an idea. If you see the rump, because we've done double spirals here, see how more effective it is than only the body, which is single spiral. So sometimes overlapping some spirals this one, like here. I've overlapped this spiral here. It gives you a little more musculature to the body. Okay, so let's do that. What we'll do is we'll study the muscle. So the stomach always goes this way. So let's do a spiral which starts from the legs this way and overlaps here, making it slightly darker. Overlap it slightly. Okay. One more thing we're going to do. We took the spirals this way for the tail. We're going to take smaller spirals like plaits just to accentuate the individual hairs. Of course, we cannot draw every hair, but just to show that it is strands. So okay, see that, like strands going down. So whoever's in, I keep on doing these sketches and putting them on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, do have a look. It's Arzan Studio. That's it. Very simple. So I do a lot of photography as well. So I love punning. I love humor. So I keep on doing my photographs on Arzan Khambata and my sculptures on Arzan Studio. And all my students' works also can be seen over there. So just to give you an idea. And okay, so you see that? I did the plaits. And just go closer. You see strands of it. Huh? Now, next. Still, I'm not going to come to the horn still. We're still going to play around with the horse a little. Now, we've gone spiral this way along the long head, and we've gone spiral this way along the legs. Let's do a bit of lateral spirals this way to accentuate the musculature further. Long spirals this way. Similarly, on the head also. Long spirals in the opposite direction. Now, one of the absolute main features of the horse is the mane. Actually, the main feature is the mane. I just love the horse hair. So what we're going to do, as if he's running, as if he's not running actually, but just let's give him some majestic hair like this. Nice majestic hair. And how are we going to do that? We are going to take each individual bunch of hair like a cone and zero it. Overlap. Multiple of these cones, we are going to overlap like this. See that? We're going to overlap these cones. There's some hair which falls in the front also, so don't forget that. We're going to overlap the hair.
Can you show the mane again, the outline?
Sorry.
That was a little fast. Can you show?
Yeah, the hair. Okay, yeah. See that? I'm going to still do it so you'll know. I'm going to overlap and then I'm going to leave it in curls. I'll do it separately here so you know what I'm talking about. I've supposing this is the neck of the horse. What I have done is I have taken small cones like this and done hair like this. Clear?
Yeah, thank you.
This way. Okay, now let's give him some base to stand on. He's right now he's floating in air, correct? So what we'll do is very, very light spiders. Now always remember, whenever you're doing a background to a main subject, it has to be extremely light. So since we've done spiders today, we'll do the background, no, not the background, only the ground. Also with spiders, but which are very light. So just see, do not go darker than this. Just to accentuate the ground. It could be grass, it could be whatever, but go as light as this to give the unicorn some base. Okay? You need not fill up the full paper, just to give an idea of a base. Like how a sculpture stands on a pedestal and gives it more weight. It gives it more weight, not in terms of mass, but in visual weight, as we call it. So here, you have the unicorn now nicely standing strongly on the ground. See that? Very light. So this is what I meant when I said the shading of the spiral, you know. Now, whoever's done this can go to the last feature which we've left, which will make the horse into a unicorn. It's actually like crowning him. So till now, he was only a plain horse. So now let's make him a unicorn. Very simple. A unicorn's horn is twisted. Okay? A unicorn's horn is twisted. So let's do diagonal ovals to get. Can you mute all? Someone's voice is in the way. So I'll just hold. Okay, fine. Shall I start? Yeah. So for the horn, do diagonal ovals and nice and strong. Let it come out. This way. See that? If you see, I have slightly wavered the line so it looks as if it's a twisted horn. See that? So what you do is do spirals only, but slightly go big and small. So you get that little waviness in the horn. So it looks like a proper unicorn. Yeah. Whoever wants to so we can go over certain parts to make it dark and light. Completely our choice. But now the overall form is done. And you've got your unicorn also. Okay. So basically the whole idea is how you can sort of use simple elements like a spiral and change it into something like this. I'll give you one more idea. So I do a lot of figures using this technique. And just to give you an idea, I'm going to draw a small figure here as a part of this composition. I'm not going to put the figure as if he's just done here just to show you, but I'm going to add this little figure as a part of this composition. So what I do is I'm going to make him very small. Okay. You can follow or not, but I'm going to do it in one stroke, whereby I have the neck, I have the torso, I go into the hand, where he seems to be holding up this composition. I come back. In one stroke only. Okay. Like Atlas carrying this full composition on his shoulders. This man is lifting it up like that. You see that? All done only with the spiral and no line. See that? This way. I think now it's time to you all to just pick up the paper. I'll just go through, and if there's anything worth pointing out to anyone, I will point it out. But just let me have a look at it. So everyone can hold up their papers now. Starting with you, Rinku. Oh, fine, super. And where's your unicorn? Oh, you got it. Nice. Good, good. It's a good form, good proportion and everything. Okay, so everyone can hold it up. I won't call out the names. Just hold it up. I'll see. Okay, Radhika, I'm seeing yours. Very nice. Very, very neat. Priya, I'm seeing yours. Very neat. Good, good. Then Stina, can I have a look at yours? And some. Okay. So whoever's ready can put it up. Not a problem. Don't worry. However good, bad, whatever it is, it's good that you took part. That's it. Oh, very nice. Okay, neat. Oh, neat. Very nice. He's a very sweet fellow. He's a cross between a dinosaur and a unicorn. It's okay. So, who else is holding it up? Okay, I can see Shalini. Shalini, very nice. Very good abstract. Niyati, I can see yours. Very nice. Jayashree? Yeah, neat. Okay, fine. Super. Jayashree, I saw yours. Then there is Esha Nichani. Nice. Okay. Rachna, very neat. Kavi Modi. I don't know whether it's your phone or your son's phone, but it's okay. It's a nice picture. Okay. Kindness Foundation. Very nice. Very neat one. Very neat. Okay. Shanti, I saw yours. Swati Goenka, can you show me? Okay, very neat. Okay. Just as a matter of proportion, the horse head has become slightly bigger. So you still have a chance of increasing the body a little. Okay. Gunit, very nice. Gunit, I saw. Gunit, neat. Who else is showing me? Okay. I think all the other videos are closed. So it's all right. It's all right. So I'll come back to... Okay, Suchi. Oh, Suchi is showing me. Yeah, very nice, Suchi. Good. The center part of your horse has become a little lighter than the back and the front, which you can adjust a little later. Huh? Take care of that. Okay. So, fine. I think everyone's done. So, oh, there
Azan,
it is.
I think one of the children are
Yes,
showing it.
yes,
from
yes. I'm seeing
childhood.
that. Excellent. Tell him it is very, very good. Tell him it's very
Romba
good.
nalla irukku. Very good.
Very good. And Arun Rainbow Home is also
Ha,
showing
Arun
good.
Rainbow also
Excellent, excellent. Tell them to keep practicing. Tell them the one very important thing, extremely important, is that I'll just change the camera to myself. One very important thing is, like, to them it is one workshop, correct? You started something, you finished something, but this has to be the starting point for them for a takeaway to take and then experiment on their own. It's like they've been given a tool and now they have to use it in multiple ways to create their own thing. That is very important. They shouldn't stop only at this, and then only they'll realize what potential is there only in simple lines and taking a pen and just going round and round and round and round and round, you know, like I mean, as children, when we used to do this, our parents used to sometimes scold us, saying you're wasting your pens or whatnot and all that, but never do that. Give enough papers, pens, and whatever they need, anyone, why children, anyone, so that they can experiment and sort of come up with this. So I had Rinku, what I'll do is I'll post, it just happened yesterday, that's why I'm telling you. There's an interview which someone took of mine. I'm posting the link, put it on your group,
Sure.
just
Yeah.
for them to give an idea as to how I started and all that. And there was one last question he asked me, saying, what do you want to tell students? Like, you know, I've been lecturing for ages. So my only thing was experiment fearlessly. That's what it should be. Literally experiment fearlessly. We are always caught up. If I do this, what will my mom say? What will my dad say? What will this say, that say? And, you know, sometimes it just gets bogged down. Give the child, give yourself enough freedom. I mean, why child? I mean, if you do it at home also, I'm sure someone from your home and come and tell you, hey, what rubbish is this? Take it this way or something like that. So stop listening to people. Actually stop listening to people and do whatever you feel like. And that's when you'll realize that the creations that come out will be your own and they'll be fabulous, you know? Absolutely. So that's it. That's my takeaway.
Does anyone have any questions for
Yeah,
Azan?
most welcome. Yes.
You can share the.
Any of the children want to ask? Tell them not to be afraid. Ask anything.
They're not afraid. Child home, rainbow home, any questions?
So I work a lot with children, so I'm used to them a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I'll send their pictures later. They
Sure,
told me they're
sure.
going to message them to me. I'll send
Sure,
them to
sure.
you.
You know what you
Ladies,
can
any
do?
questions? Yeah, sure. Tell me.
Tag their NGO and send it to me
Yes,
and tag me
and-
also. I'll repost it. Okay, so they'll
I'll-
also get to see it.
Sure, we can do that. Any
Anyone else?
questions, ladies?
Rinku, if we can we have his Instagram handle so that we can share?
I'll share
Sure.
it with you. Yeah,
So-
I'll put
so-
it there.
I'll just tell you. You of course, Rinku will share it with you.
Putting
Arzan
in-
Khambata is one where I do my photography, and Arzan Studio is where I do my doodles and my sculptures and all that. And even Facebook is Arzan Khambata, just my name. That's it. Arzan
Sorry for
Khambata.
spelling it.
Doodle art is done only with spirals. Jayashree is asking, oh no, not at all, not at all. Spirals is like one little tip of the iceberg that you can do with that, you know. Okay, do you have 2 minutes to go through some of the complete works that I've done? Can I show you?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I'll quickly take you to my doodles, which are complete works, and these were done mostly in 2012, 2014. Okay, just to give you an idea, I'll quickly take you through some of them. There are lots, but I'll just take you through some of them to show you the intensity, to show you the detailing of the works. I have to change the camera, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's start
Let me
with
just change the view.
a slight simpler one. You see that? So it's like multiple techniques in one. Okay, it is like if so there's, I mean, in this one I can pot out 8-9 techniques like that. And when you're doing it, you don't think, okay, spirals, what we did today. See that? There's only spirals, and this little man is looking at it on the top. It's like a constellation. Okay. And so what I was saying was, when you're doing it, you don't think this is the technique I'm going to use and this is the way I'm going to do it. You just put your pen on the paper and you start doing your formations and all that. And magic happens, literally. You have to sit with an open mind and sit in nice and quiet and sort of decide that today you're going to do 1 hour of doodling and you'll not get up before the work is like 1 hour old. Don't try to complete it in 1 hour. That's also a wrong thing. But work at a diligent pace, which sort of gets you these sort of things. You get an idea? So if you see, it's a mix. I cannot even point out what I was thinking of or what the thought process was at that time. Okay. So I'll show you one. Now this one is also a very unique one. Sorry, I'm tapping my phone instead of the iPad. Here, you see that? Multiple techniques, all put together. And so this is what I teach. So one technique at a time, just so that people get an idea of what the possibilities are. So to answer your question, spiraling is not the only technique. There's not thousands, maybe millions of them, which you can actually formulate and you can do on your own. The requirement is to sit with paper, sit with a pen and keep drawing. I would really advise you, if you're serious, to carry a small notebook with you. Like so many times you find yourself just waiting, maybe in someone's appointment room or or at a train station or whatever, just waiting for something, maybe waiting for a driver. Just remove that small little book and start scribbling in it and see what happens. It's wonderful, So you can read your WhatsApp forwards a little lesser and do all these sketches a little more, so that you can actually get something like this going, It's good fun. You get involved in it, it's more fun like that, And believe me, you'll get surprised yourself.
Great.
That's all.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
That was really delightful.
Welcome.
Really, such a welcome change from our normal afternoon.
Thank you.
Every day.
Thank you.
Radhika?
Thank you so much, Erzan. That was
Thank you. Welcome.
I'm smiling at the end of it. I used to do a lot of painting and artwork, and I'm just still going to put that into it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And do keep sending me the group's works. I'd love to have a look at it.
No, we'll do that.
Sure.
Ladies, if we can all just put up our work on our WhatsApp chats, or you can just send them to me or Radhika, and we'll share them with Erzan. Please do so. Don't keep them to yourselves. And thank you, Erzan. And ladies, look forward to seeing you all on 15th for the launch of our domestic violence helpline. We have some a very senior judge, some advocates. Suhasini Maniratnam will be joining us. And we're hoping to make Flow a relevant voice that matters in our state. Thank you so much, Erzan.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And before we quit, I'd like to actually thank Jyoti Thomas for sponsoring this session. Jyoti, I know you're going to kill me for taking your name, but I had to do this. She just came forth, and I think it was definitely worth everybody's time. But whatever Erzan takes, he actually gives it to his foundation, which works with children. So worth the effort. Thank you so much. And Child Home, did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you send me your drawings? You send Ajay Anna your drawings soon?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, children. Arun Home, did you have fun? Yes? Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. See you, ladies. See you day after 6 p.m. Please log in. It would really mean a lot.
Okay, super session, Rinko.
I know. I think we all needed it. We all needed to just do.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. But maybe we can get together, as a group sometimes and just do this. It might be good, right? It would be nice to do something.
So Niyati is on the top of the world.
Yeah, we can see that. Bye. See you, girls.
Bye. See ya.
Thank you. Bye. See you.